Hey guys, thanks for tuning into the channel. I had a really nice chat with Bob Fox this morning. He's a longtime author and journalist in Wisconsin. He's written numerous projects, one of them on Jerry Kramer. And we talked about how Bob was adamant about seeing Jerry in the Pro Football Hall of Fame that eventually took place. We have a lot in common, and here's our chat.
That was just before cable TV started in Wisconsin,
Yeah.
and Viacom was one of the stations that were looking to get that contract. And I started working for them for a couple of years and got press passes from Sky and Zeno to cover the Brewers, and was a great time. 82 and 83, obviously. It was a great time to cover the Brewers, Bambi Bombers,
Sure.
sliding into Harvey's Wallbangers and getting to know guys like Robin and Molly, and got to interview Uke, as I said, and Bud Selig did an hour interview with Bud once
Yeah.
inside his office in the bowels of County Stadium.
Sure.
Anyway, I ended up helping my parents move to Florida. And at that time, I met my wife. And from 1984 on, we have lived in Florida. We recently sold our home. So now this is the first winter I've spent in Wisconsin since 1983.
This one.
This one, that my current one, our current one. And you were talking, I heard you talking about shoveling snow and all that good
Yeah.
stuff. That's the first time I've done that in a long time. And of course, it's just a fun time. But anyway, so I was in sales I was looking for work in Florida. I did have a few interviews down there in South Dakota, places like that. But I never got the plum job that I was looking for. So I ended up in sales to make a living, make some money. And I ended up in sales for over 20 plus years, including quite a time at Xerox.
Hmm.
And while I was doing that, I said, I still got an itch. I'd love to continue doing some work in the media. And I was able to get hired by Packer Report in 2001.
Sure. Sure. Did Lee
And I
Remmel
worked,
hire you? Is
pardon me?
that Lee Remmel?
No, it was Todd Korth was
I
the guy.
love I loved Lee Remmel. I
Yeah.
adored that man.
Yeah. I called him a few times. Another good guy who just gave me advice. And I'm so glad they made the press box in Green Bay named after
Yeah, I
him.
mean,
Deserved.
he had no reason to treat me as well as he did. I was with WIMS just starting out, and he was so kind to me. He said, Jim, the press box is not. We got a tiny press box, but he gave me season tickets and a press pass, and he's just one of the good guys, as I know you
Oh,
know.
yeah. Oh, yeah. Excellent fella. And so I started working for Packer Report, was with them till like 2008.
Yeah.
Um, Wrote a lot of stuff about Jerry Kramer. Um, and then I started working for a online site called Wisconsin Sports Online
Hmm.
that covered the Packers, Brewers, Badgers, you name it, I could write about it. Marquette.
Yeah.
Then Bleacher Report hired me in 2011, worked with them through 2015. And then I started my own site on WordPress, which I've been doing now since 2015 to present day.
How do we
And
get to that? Tell us where we can find that. How do
just Bob Fox at WordPress, or just write down Bob Fox at WordPress, and it's easily found if you do
Sure.
that.
Okay.
And that's sort of how I got reacquainted with Jerry Kramer. Alicia Kramer saw some of my work, and she said, "You need to talk to my dad," because she saw how much of a big proponent I was about getting Jerry into the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
So we reconnected. And what was funny, in 1991, when I was in Florida working in sales, I happened to be at a golf tournament or a golf outing just before Super Bowl 25, and it was in Wesley Chapel, right outside of Tampa at Saddlebrook, the golf course. And I knew Jerry was going to be there, and I had written a letter to Packer Report. I wasn't a columnist then, but I had written a letter saying how much Jerry deserved to be in the Hall of Fame. Again, this is 1991.
Yeah.
I see Jerry as he's heading to another hole with this foursome, and I introduced myself. I said, "Jerry, just wanted to see this letter I wrote on your behalf," and he read it, and he was pretty touched by it. He
Yeah.
really enjoyed it. And I think we both sort of figured that it'd be any year now that he would get inducted. It took 27 years later for it to actually happen, which is ridiculous, but it got me to get reacquainted with Jerry. And then it got to the point where we were like, every time we talk now, it can be about the weather. It can be about how's, Boise as opposed to Cedar Grove, or doesn't even have to be Packers at all. We can just talk about family, whatever the case may be. But it's usually an hour conversation each time I talk to him.
Well,
And
you
it's
connected on a human level, and I think that's so
right.
important. What we do is
Yep.
that friendship can be bonded in the first sentence you speak to somebody, and then it never goes away. The reason I have these connections is because they know I'm not full of crap, and they like talking to me because, I'm a real guy, and I think they get that from you as well.